Hello and welcome to this evaluation of the Unified User Experience. Today we are talking about answering services, or how to improve your answering services and offerings. So let's start off with basically our problem statement questions. What challenges do answering services face when it comes to client management and billing? And how can you expand your service offerings to acquire bigger clients, right? So the two questions we're dealing with today are revenue questions. Basically, how do you protect your revenue? How do you protect your existing clients? And then how do we get bigger clients because we have more functionality? Some answering services bill their clients by the minute, and others bill by the month. For most providers in this competitive space, keeping the billing accurate and streamlined for delivery are among the biggest goals for their organizations. Thus, they need a platform that can dynamically adapt to the data hierarchy that their clients need. Their managers need the capability to change data relationships as needed, create parent-child relationships and then parent-child relationships under those. They need to be able to record any and all stats from the campaigns so that their clients, the answering services clients, can view those stats on a dashboard on demand. So the answering service world is a stats heavy culture. They always have a need for bigger and better data reports and dashboards. However, the most critical component for them for answering services is the billing has the capability to track all the progress from one account to the next. And that feature set is essential to what they're trying to accomplish. So when we're talking about the unified user experience, with the answering services vertical, basically all of your interactions for your answering service are going to come in. If you see on the left side, telling the story from left to right, all of your interactions are going to come into the system, and then those interactions are going to trigger different screens for that answering services process. So identical to your skill-based routing tree, that's exactly what we're looking at here. I have a skill-based phone call inbound. I have an outbound phone call, whatever the case may be. I have an email. All of that can be handled on behalf of your clients. Now, we can track your client records, your individual client records, in addition to that. And then we can also integrate with multiple data sources. So if your client happens to say, you know what, we're using Microsoft Dynamics, or we are using Salesforce, we can also integrate with your client's data set and bring that data into the system and trigger it on demand when the call comes through or when the text message comes through. So you get a very quick agent to phone call response with data displayed, filling up the desktop with information. All right. So when it comes to a cloud CRM solution that can manage and report on answering services campaigns, I just want to highlight what Ivenix is capable of doing. So the major features that are included with Ivenix are going to be the answering services billing component, which can be done by the minute. So not only can we track how many minutes the agent spends on the phone or on an email, any interaction, but we can also track how many minutes the agent spends on any piece of data in the system. All right. And then the second thing that we have with this is, and I don't really want to gloss over that. One more thing on the billing. We do have billing dashboards that your clients would be able to see their billing dashboards. They do need a user in the system to be able to see their dashboard, but having a user gives them a lot of power as well, which we can talk about later. The second major functionality we have for answering services is emergency dispatch. And I can show you that here in terms of emergency dispatch in different contexts. Obviously, that's going to come about. So, if I start out and I'm looking at my dispatch screen, this would be my dispatch Kanban. And you'll notice that it's by client. So what dispatches do I have currently outstanding for all? What dispatches do I have that are assigned to me as a user? And what dispatches do I have that are assigned to this particular client? So there's a lot that we can make happen here. That's an initial introduction to dispatching. Now, what if I had a message come through and I needed to dispatch that in real time? So I could just click on that message. Again, that's going to take me to another screen. Every interaction takes you to the right screen in this system, the right screen at the right time. And then the screen is going to fill up with data automatically for every interaction. So that's a really good example of having a single interaction come through and then allowing it to trigger multiple screens. So let's break this down, from top to bottom. On the top left, I have my instructions on how the guidance from the client on how they want this dispatched. I have my actual records that I can search for contacts. And then in the center of the screen, I've got my script, and I can fill out my script information as needed. Bottom center of the screen, I have my cadence, my process automation. Process automation works back and forth with the agent. You think of it as a give and take. So the system will take over, it'll handle a few things, and then it'll hand off back to the agent. And then on the right side of the screen, I've got my account profile, basically, and I can select from a drop-down different accounts. So I can see different use cases for data entry and for other things that I need to know. Like these are details about this particular client that the agent might need to know, and I can quickly pull those up. Then I can look at my interaction history. So I can see all the interactions that I've had with this client, with this particular dispatch contact, I should say. All the different interactions, all the different notes, everything down the line. And then we have the active contacts for this account. So I would be able to pop up any of the details and see how that pops up. That's a contact record. And then the on-call calendar, which can be adjusted on the fly. We can select, different calendars for different folks, different calendars for different departments. Everything is object-based in this system. So there are always a lot of options with that. So that's really the dispatch message piece of I have my instructions. I can have multiple instructions as well. And the client can change their instructions. The client can change the way that the campaign is running for their medical dispatch. So if they said, hey, we need this medical dispatching running a certain way from 8 to 5, and then from 5 to 9 p.m., we want it to run a different way because another person is on call, or we need to run it a different way because a lot of people are on vacation. Whatever the case may be, we will be able to adapt those instructions and those processes to handle that. And then if we're looking at basically the agent screen, we can see what it looks like from an agent perspective, pulling up these records, the message piece, and I'm just using this for the demo environment. I've got my trigger window here that I can trigger these pieces, but the dispatch itself is going to bring this up. So this is very similar, but this actually shows me my agent snapshot, who's actively working on these campaigns. Again, what is my script? What are my instructions? And then, or what is my account information, my account profile information? Here are my instructions, my dispatch instructions. What's my interaction history? And again, we have the account contacts and the on-call calendar. So again, there are a lot of components here that were very similar to the other screen that I showed you. The other screen was more of a manager screen. This is more of what the agent screen might look like when they're taking a dispatch message, but they have their dispatching instructions. They're quick and easy for them to access. They can tell the hours and everything, all the relevant business information, who is available in queue currently, and just being able to look at that intelligently, right? So, and just making sure that we go through these screens. On the left side here, we have an account list. So these would be your different accounts. This would be Bob's Plumbing or Treetop medical facilities, medical clinics. Whatever the case may be, you're selecting a client, or the client is being selected automatically because one of these people called in. My screen's going to fill up with information again, and then I have calendars for each one of these contacts, right? If that's the case, if I need to book, let's say that it's a use case for HVAC and I need to book for individual technicians, then we can have a calendar for each individual technician that is a contact under that client. And similarly, though, we can have a department calendar. So if the entire department shares a single calendar, that would be another option. So it's either individuals or group calendars. And then as we make selections of the contacts, we'd be able to see different calendars down here. With each client, I'll be able to see the client information, the top level client information. So this would be the HVAC company on the left side. And then these are all the different client search. These are the individual client contacts in the center of the screen. On the right side of the screen, I've got different dispatch instructions. And you'll notice that we have multiple dispatch instructions that are possible. And we can keep rotating that and adding to it. So you can say, these dispatch instructions are relevant from 8 a.m. to noon. And then these dispatch instructions are relevant from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., so on and so forth. And then on the right, bottom right, we have the cadence. So the agent can see where the system is at in its process automation. And then we can see which campaign cadence is being run currently. So again, the system can take automated actions on these records. Those automated actions are fully customizable. And then on the bottom left, we've got our customer journey. So we can see all the interactions that have taken place, and these are all sorted by the most recent. So it's very easy for me to keep track of recent interactions, scheduling, and then manipulating the entire system and making sure that as an answering service, I know that, you know, the number one thing for you is you need to be in control. You are the jet pilots. You like to fly the plane. And that's very much what the system is. It has a very powerful admin. You control the campaigns, you control the screens, you control where the data is, you control how the campaigns flow, you control all the rules around everything related to your agents. And then, of course, we have these very robust reporting dashboards to show you current progress. You know, they're drag and drop. You can drill down into the data with a simple double click. We're tracking all the interactions and we're tracking the use case, and we can do it by client. So you can have a dashboard for each client. Your agents can also have screens with these KPIs on them for the answering service contact center. So we can measure your agent performance on a dashboard with individual agents just like this. And then the agent will be able to see their progress as well. So you have these robust KPI dashboards. You have full-fledged reporting of all the interactions of all the use case data in the system. And then you have the process automation piece, which is feeding your answering service. And again, this is something that you have control over as an admin. You'd be able to come in and make changes to the and or logic. If this is true and that is true, if this and this are true. So groups within groups of and or logic, and then unlimited, filtering on those rules. Each rule that you create is going to trigger an action or multiple actions. So I can come in and I can configure multiple actions, whether I want to assign a new dispatch message to an agent, or whether I want to automatically assign some other piece of work to an agent like an outbound call. That's all possible within the system. The system can assign work to your users, but it can also do things like notifications, pop-up notifications, interdepartmental routing. So you can say, I need the accounting department to take over after this piece is done. I need them to record something. Then I need to pass over to customer service. So this node right here might be accounting, this node might be customer service, and then it just keeps flowing through your organization until that process automation is met. So it's a very powerful cadencing engine, and the functionality is about 100 miles deep, but we do have a lot of answering services clients joining us, and we have a strong footprint in that market. So taking care of our telephone answering services clients is a very high priority for us. So anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this glimpse into the unified user experience. We'd like to take 20 minutes to talk about your particular use case, go through the details, the heavy lifting on that. And, if possible, if it's a fit, if your organization is a good fit for us, we might do a prototype for you and just kind of show you what your screens might look like and how things might function. But anyways, thank you for taking the time today. You can see more about our platform on www.ivenix.com. That's again, www.ivinex.com. You can reach us at sales@ivenix.com. Again, that's sales@ivenix.com. And like I said, we'll schedule 20 minutes. We'll talk through your use case with you. We'll talk through some of the things you want to accomplish, any of your pain points. If you want us to demo a few things, we're happy to do that. But the ultimate goal is to make sure that we're focusing on the problems that you want to solve, because ultimately for us, the system, we want it to pay for itself 4 or 5 times over. In order to do that, we need it to ensure that, number one, it takes care of your current clients, and your current clients are very happy, with their billing, with all the metrics, with being able to measure everything, with being able to make changes. That's all possible in the system. Secondly, we want to make sure that we're adding functionality, because this platform can do a lot more than other telephone answering services platforms, because it's not built just as a telephone answering services platform. It's built to service the broader contact center space. That's why we have so much deep level functionality, things like data protection, workflows, automation. There are many, many options, and I think you'll really love what's possible as you look to expand your client base and your client portfolio. So anyways, thanks again for your time today, and we look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.